I know I may sound like a broken record, but I believe that we cannot talk enough about this, and that is the abortion drug mifepristone. Right? Now, I entered politics a long time ago because this issue of life. It is not just another political issue. It's a defining issue for the nation. And this abortion drug, mifepristone, is behind about 2/3 of abortions in the U.S. today. A number which, by the way, is growing. And a lot of people are being misled by the left that somehow abortion is inaccessible and it's declining. It's actually risen since the Dobbs decision. And what the Dobbs decision did, it put this issue out of the courts into the hands of legislators, all right, policymakers. Well, since Dobbs, about 41 states have adopted pro-life laws to varying degrees. About 13, as we've talked about in this program, have laws protecting, ironclad laws protecting the unborn. But because of the abortion pill and policies that were adopted in the Biden administration, the abortion pill no longer required the in-person consultation with a medical professional. And so these pills, and then combined with the Department of Justice not enforcing the Comstock Act, these pills are being mailed into states that have pro-life laws, that have laws against these abortion pills. So it is negating their laws, but lawmakers are fighting back. In fact, this week, we've talked about this, 16 state attorneys general have sent a letter to the Congress asking them to act to remove these shield laws that states like New York have put in place that prohibit states like Louisiana, my home state, from going after these doctors that are violating the law and mailing these abortion pills into the state. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson, who has been leading an effort in the Louisiana House to penalize these abortionists in other states who are mailing in these abortion drugs into the state of Louisiana in violation of state law. Representative Emerson, thanks so much for joining me today here on Washington Watch.
Well, thank you, Tony. It's always nice to be with a fellow Louisianian, so I appreciate you.
Well, Louisiana, thank you. I commend you on your efforts. Louisiana has long been leading the effort on the life issue. And this is one of those areas where Louisiana was one of the first states that had a trigger law. As soon as Roe was overturned, Louisiana was rock solid on the life issue. But now it is being completely nullified by these abortion pills. So what are you doing in working with state officials to try to stop this?
Well, Tony, look, absolutely. Louisiana has always been a very strong pro-life state. We actually signed a trigger law into law over 20 years ago, actually. I believe Kathleen Blanco was governor when that happened. And then, of course, when Roe was overturned, we tightened that up back in 2021 and made sure that we were ironclad and that Louisiana stood for life, and to make sure that everyone knew that we wanted to shut down abortion facilities in this state. And we did that, thankfully, very easily, because we've always had a pro-life legislature. And again, actually, a Democrat governor ended up signing it because they know that Louisiana is a pro-life state. But unfortunately, over the last couple of years since we've done that, we have so many out-of-state providers who have found these loopholes in our law to be able to mail these abortion drugs into Louisiana. And unfortunately, there was a case recently from a doctor in New York who actually had a telehealth call with the mother of a patient, not even the patient herself, and ended up shipping those abortion drugs into Louisiana. I'm sure you probably saw in the news, Tony, I know you were following. We did try to hold her accountable, but Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, said absolutely she will not send her to Louisiana to face charges. And so unfortunately, we were not able to hold her criminally liable. And so this year, of course, we can't make it retroactive in that situation. But this year, I worked with another representative, a freshman representative, actually. She was very bold in taking this stance. But she and I co-authored this bill to make sure that we send a clear message to out-of-state doctors do not send abortion pills here, or you can now be held civilly liable. We were the first state in the country to pass civil penalties on those rogue doctors that were, as our Attorney General described it, a drug dealer. Because frankly, you're not able to give those pills to someone. A doctor in Louisiana cannot give those pills to a woman to have an elective abortion. Of course, you and I know that those medications are used to induce labor, and they're used safely under a doctor's care. But when they are misused and misappropriately used to cause an abortion, you can't have that here in Louisiana. So very proud of our legislature, very proud of our governor for putting this into law and becoming the first state to do so.
So, Julie, the battle to protect the unborn continues. I mean, despite
Absolutely.
the victory in the Supreme Court in the Dobbs case, the pro-abortion community continues to try to circumvent the laws.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, obviously overturning Roe was a huge victory for us, those of us that truly believe in life and fight for life every single day. But as you said, the journey was just beginning there, because of course now we flip the script where constantly the pro-abortionists out there are trying to add in more exceptions, erode our laws, find loopholes. And, you know, I think they did with this opening here of these out-of-state doctors being able to ship these pills into Louisiana. But thankfully, we discovered it early, worked with our Attorney General's office. I can't say enough amazing things about her. Liz Murrell has been a great Attorney General fighting for life right there alongside us. And so thankfully, she joined forces with us. She came to committee to testify on this bill. And certainly, you know, we always expect when we do something like this that the pro-abortionists out there are going to try to come say that it's wrong or unconstitutional or something like that. But the Attorney General was sitting right next to us saying, I have no problems defending this. We can absolutely defend this in court. So very thankful for her stance and her support in this as well.
Well, Julie, I want to thank you for your leadership there in Louisiana and helping bring attention to this nationally. And I hope many other states follow your leads. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tony. It's a pleasure.